Jeremy Clarkson's plot to stump Kaleb Cooper with, first ever farming win. Jeremy Clarkson says he's determined to trick his sidekick Kaleb Cooper as he gloats all his way to his, first ever farming win. Kaleb Cooper can't stand sheep, as his song suggests, but now Jeremy Clarkson, who'd been equally ambivalent about them, has bought a brand new flock. After discovering that lamb prices are currently high, Clarkson's farm favorite Jeremy couldn't resist seeing a business opportunity, and he put aside his previous uncertainty about owning sheep. Despite handing his last flock over to a local shepherd in despair and vowing there and then I'd never have sheep again, he is now looking forward to fooling Kaleb. I've been told that it's unwise to put cows in a field where easy-care sheep, a breed designed for low-input farming, have been because they will eat the discarded wool, which does terrible things to some of their stomachs, he warned. However, Jeremy jokingly gloated in his latest column for the times that he's certain an unsuspecting Kaleb doesn't realize. When the sheep move on from their field and he puts the shorthorn cows in there, I can pull an incredulous face and wonder out loud how he can call himself a farmer if he didn't know that. It'll be my first ever farming win, he exclaimed. Of course, you might think that by writing this here, I've given the game away, he continued. Not so, because that's the other thing I know about Kaleb. He doesn't read the newspapers. The banter between Jeremy and Kaleb is a long-standing chuckle, with the latter frequently quipping that his co-star is useless and sneering at his abilities as a farmer. Now it could be time for Jeremy to get revenge on his pal as the nation looks on, although he is likely just joking. As things stand, Kaleb is already disgusted by his decision to buy a flock. Jeremy struggled during COVID with his first flock, which ended up developing painful weeping sores despite his best efforts to help them. He'd also tried his hand at lambing, only for things to fall flat when he witnessed the heartbreaking reality of some of the sheep giving birth to dead babies. Meanwhile, there's another awkward problem. A sheep eats and s simultaneously, Jeremy groaned, which means that the pretty path that meanders through the field and past the pond and through the woods is now, basically, a river of feces which the dogs roll in all the time. However, Jeremy, who lamented he'd made just £114 in direct profits in his first year as a farmer, is persevering and recently also tried his hand at looking after pigs. London, November 2024. In what can only be described as an intense battle of wit, skill, and farmyard rivalry, Jeremy Clarkson has set his sights on achieving what he calls his first ever farming win, but there's a catch. He's determined to do it in a way that stumps his right-hand man, Kaleb Cooper. Known for his larger-than-life persona on Clarkson's farm, Clarkson's competitive streak is taking on new heights as he tries to outmaneuver the farm's youngest and most gifted operator. But will Clarkson's overconfidence get the better of him, or will Kaleb's straightforward, no-nonsense approach continue to outshine Clarkson's grand schemes? Clarkson vs. Cooper, the ultimate farming showdown. It's a battle that's been brewing for some time on the hit Amazon Prime Video series Clarkson's Farm, where Jeremy Clarkson, best known for his career as a television presenter and Top Gear host, took on the challenge of running a farm in the Cotswolds despite having little to no experience in agriculture. Enter Kaleb Cooper, the farm's 21-year-old tractor-driving prodigy, who has quickly earned a reputation as Clarkson's voice of reason, guiding him through the numerous challenges that come with farming life. Since the show's debut, Clarkson has often found himself out of his depth, and while he's learned a great deal from his young assistant, he's never one to back down from a challenge. Now, with the success of Clarkson's Farm Season 2 under his belt and with new farming experiments on the horizon, Clarkson is determined to finally win the respect of his loyal team by achieving a milestone that has eluded him, a legitimate farming win. But in typical Clarkson fashion, this is easier said than done. "I've never won anything on this farm," Clarkson lamented during a recent interview. "Kaleb's been running circles around me, and I'm getting sick of it. It's time for me to get one over on him. If I don't, he's going to start calling me Sir Jeremy the Inept." While Clarkson's humorous self-deprecation has won him fans around the world, it's clear that his competitive nature is about to take center stage. But does he have what it takes to outfarm the very person who's been helping him avoid disaster? Kaleb Cooper, the underdog who knows his stuff. Kaleb Cooper, who first appeared in Clarkson's Farm as a teenager, has rapidly become one of the breakout stars of the show. A natural in the world of farming, Kaleb has shown impressive skill and knowledge, often saving Clarkson from what would have been certain farming catastrophes. With his direct approach to farming, and his candid attitude towards Clarkson, Kaleb's no-nonsense style has resonated with viewers and made him a fan favorite. Kaleb, however, isn't fazed by Clarkson's grandiose plans. He thinks he's got it all figured out, but he's got no idea how hard farming really is, Kaleb said, smiling wryly in a recent interview. I've been working on farms since I was 13. He can't just waltz in here and expect to win a competition that's been built over years of hard work and experience. Indeed, while Clarkson is a fast learner, there's no substitute for the decades of expertise Kaleb brings to the table. But this time, the young farmer has a new challenge on his hands. Jeremy Clarkson, determined to put his knowledge and newfound skills to the test. The challenge: Clarkson's first ever farming win. The plot to Stump Kaleb isn't just about winning in the traditional sense. Clarkson, known for his eccentric, often unpredictable ways, has devised a plan to tackle a farming task that he believes Kaleb will struggle with. The task in question, a complex challenge involving crop rotation, tractor maintenance, and perhaps even livestock management, all with an emphasis on the meticulous work that farming demands. I'm going to pick something that Kaleb has never seen before, something that requires a bit of brains as well as brawn, Clarkson explained. It's not just about who's got the strongest tractor or the best seed. I've got something up my sleeve that Kaleb will have no choice but to admit defeat. It's my first ever farming win, and I'm going to make it happen. So, what exactly does this win involve? Clarkson's plan is not only ambitious but downright cheeky. He has decided to tackle a farming project that requires a combination of technology, environmental strategy, and farming knowledge. It involves introducing a new, experimental crop that has never been attempted on his farm before. For Clarkson, it's a chance to showcase his newfound farming prowess and perhaps even prove that he's learned more than he lets on. But there's more to it than that. Clarkson is keen to use cutting-edge farming technology, bringing in new methods, gadgets, and machinery that Kaleb has never worked with. He's betting that the young farmer's traditional skills won't be enough to handle the high-tech tools he plans to deploy. In doing so, Clarkson hopes to create the perfect storm of modern technology and old-school farming expertise that will ultimately stump Kaleb. It's all about outsmarting him, Clarkson teased. I'm not just relying on brute force. I'm going to bring in the tech and make Kaleb look like the old-fashioned farmer he is. The high stakes. Why this first ever win matters. For Clarkson, this win is more than just a victory over Kaleb. It's about validating his journey as a farmer. Although Clarkson's farm has been a massive success, with the show's charm lying in Clarkson's incompetence and willingness to learn, there's an underlying desire for Clarkson to prove to himself that he can actually succeed in farming. I've been made fun of enough, Clarkson said with a laugh. Kaleb's the one everyone thinks is the real farmer. I want to prove that I've got what it takes to make this farm work, even if I have to get one over on Kaleb in the process. Winning, for Clarkson, represents more than just conquering Kaleb. It's a way of asserting his authority on the farm, of showing that he can rise to the challenge and take charge in the world of agriculture. With all eyes on him, Clarkson is determined not to let Kaleb, or the world, think that he's just a man playing at farming. Kaleb's response, the young farmer's steely resolve. Kaleb Cooper, ever the professional, isn't taking Clarkson's antics lying down. While Clarkson might think he can out-tech his assistant, Kaleb is confident that his deep knowledge of farming, honed through years of experience, will help him outlast any challenges the former Top Gear host throws at him. I'm not worried, Kaleb said. He can bring all the fancy equipment and gadgets he wants, but at the end of the day, it's about knowing what works on a farm. You can have all the high-tech tools in the world, but if you don't understand the land, it doesn't matter. I know what I'm doing, and I'm not going to let some flashy new toys get in my way. For Kaleb, it's about proving that farming isn't just about gimmicks. It's about hard work, experience, and the patience to wait for results. While Clarkson's desire for quick success might seem tempting, Kaleb is betting on the tried and true methods that have been working for centuries. What's at stake for both men? As the clock ticks down on the upcoming season of Clarkson's farm, all eyes will be on the showdown between Jeremy Clarkson and Kaleb Cooper. Can Clarkson finally achieve the win he's long sought after, or will Kaleb prove once again that there's no substitute for experience in the farming world? With high-tech tools, new crops, and cutting-edge strategies at play, the battle is shaping up to be one for the ages. For Clarkson, this is about more than just farming, it's about proving that he can succeed in a world where he's always been an outsider. For Kaleb, it's about holding on to the knowledge that's brought him success, no matter how flashy or high-tech the competition gets. One thing's for certain, when these two go head-to-head, it will be a farming spectacle like no other.